Tables are great when you want to present data, particularly numbers, in rows and columns in a very structured way. I'm going to insert a new slide by pressing Ctrl M, M for Monday. I'm then going to add the title, Expected Costs. Now there's a variety of ways that you can insert a table. I could use this button here and insert a table that way, or I might decide to draw a table. Let me just change the layout of this slide. So I'll go Home, I'll go to Layout, and I'll change it to a title only. Now I want to insert a table, and let's say I wanted to draw a table. So I'll click Draw Table. My mouse is now a pen, and I can drag and create a rectangle. I can then drag and create, if I go back to Draw Table, and create a column. I can then, undo. I can draw and create a column. I can draw and create rows. And you can see how tricky it is. I've also got an eraser where I can rub out rows and columns. But it's too difficult for me. I'm going to go undo. And I'm going to change my slide layout to a title and content. And I'm going to insert a table in a more structured fashion. I would like 2 columns and 7 rows. Actually 2 columns and 5 rows. And I'll click OK. Boom, immediately my table is created for me. In the first row I'll type item, and then I'll press tab. The tab key moves me to the next cell where I can type cost. If I press tab again, I can type cheap car. And if I press tab again, I can type an amount. So the tab key moves you forward and the shift tab takes you backwards. So I'll just tab to each cell. When I reach the last cell, I often think, oh, I need a few more rows. If you press the tab key while you're sitting in the last cell, you'll generate a new row. So you can actually build your rows as you go. Tab. Now unfortunately, not like Word, PowerPoint doesn't provide you with a formulas capability. So you can't put a formula or a function in to say sum the above. You actually have to work it out and type it in. That's something you can do in Word, but you can't do in PowerPoint. So if you need to insert rows, simply press tab and you'll generate a new row. If you need to delete that row, go to the Table Tools Layout tab in the ribbon and head for the Delete button. You'll see that there's an option there to delete a row. And it easily deletes the row you were sitting in. If you need to insert a row, say above item, simply click on item and then go insert above. And then I'll go delete row. If I need a column in front of item, I'll simply insert left. And then I need to delete a column, so I'll go delete column. So it's easy to insert and delete rows and columns. Now often we need to resize as well. First of all, I could just adjust the height of each row by selecting. Let me just drag and select the entire table, and I could adjust the height of the rows using this height option here. I could also adjust the width by increasing this width option here. Or I could adjust the width simply by dragging and resizing using this mouse pointer. Now when it comes to alignment, this column here really should be right aligned. So I'm going to drag from the middle of this cell down to the middle of this cell. Up here on my Table Tools Layout tab, I have left, centered and right. I'm going to click the right button and that'll right align those figures. I'd also like to ensure that everything is vertically centered. So I'm going to highlight the entire table and I'm going to go for this option, which puts it vertically to the center, as opposed to the bottom or the top of each row, so I'll vertically center. Now the heights of the row seem inconsistent, so I'm just going to change the heights of the row to say 10. In fact, that's changing the height and the width of the table. Let me just do that again. And it's over here that I want to change the height of the row. Or I could go for this option. This option here will distribute all the rows so that they're all equally the same height, given the height of the table. And so they'll equally be the same height, which is 1.43 centimeters. I could distribute the columns as well, but it would make both my columns the exact same width, and that's not what I'm after. So you can change the height of rows, the width of rows, or distribute them equally, the rows or the columns. Something else you can do is you can also merge cells. Let me click on Item and Insert Above, and then I'll put option expenses in total. And I'd like to merge these two cells in the top row into one large cell so I can center this text over the top of my table. I'll drag from the middle of this cell to the middle of this cell, and I'll simply merge the cells. Then I'll be able to center my text across the top of the table. If I want to split cells back into two, I'll go for the Split Cells button. And I'll split it into two columns, one row, and OK. And now it's back into two cells, and I can drag this one and put it over the top of that one. And I'm back to as I started. If I wish to delete this top row, I'll simply go Delete and delete rows. And so you can see how you can merge cells and you can split cells. You can also change the design of this table if you're not happy with the default look. If I go to Table Tools Design, there's a number of table styles. And it's really a matter of just rolling over them, and you can vaguely see in the background what they look like. And if I click on a style, there it is formatted. So choose a table style, again governed by your theme, that you would prefer. If you prefer to manually style things yourself, you can select a row or the entire table, and you can apply your own shading, you can apply your own borders, you can even apply your own effects. You can even apply quick styles to any text in your table, or you can change the text fill or the text outline, or even apply text effects, and really improve the look of your table. This last row I just like to make bold, so I'm just going to choose bold and then go back to Table Tools Design. If you have information that exists in Excel and you wish to present it in PowerPoint, I would highly recommend that you simply select your Excel data and you copy and you paste. And you even have the option to paste it. It will automatically, come in as a table, but you also have the option to paste link, and that information's in your notes.